and check and see, did we send that dismissal to her or email it? Because why is she on? Okay, no problem. Good morning. My name is Judge Person. I do welcome everybody to court this morning. I do want to make some announcements, and while you're listening, there's a number of people just coming in onto the and their audio is connecting and so forth. So I'm going to be redundant. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit until I get clear that everybody's in and properly connected. So again, my name is Judge Person. I do welcome everybody to the Temple Municipal Court. We are running 2 dockets today. One is the docket for pretrial. One is the docket, just the general docket to see the judge. The pretrial docket are for folks who have pleaded not guilty. Those cases are contested. And Ms. Rice is here from the city. Ms. Rice, if you could give a quick wave. Thank you. She represents the state of Texas. She's the, what we call the opposing party. So if you're on the pretrial, you'll have a meeting with her. I do have a few folks. I could not identify who you are. I'm going to try to do that now. The first one I would, and I had just a couple of quick, I'm just looking to see who's here. Natalie Osment had logged in. Are you in the meeting still? Oh, there she goes. She's trying to get back in. Okay, I'll talk to her in a moment when she gets connected. The next person I want to ask is there's a gentleman with like a gray Puma hoodie. I just asked you to unmute. You're identified as iPhone. Could I get your name? Can you tell me your name?
Me?
Yes.
Knock Dang.
Dang. There we go. I found you. Okay, I just want to, I need to pull the right file. And if you're named iPhone, I don't know who you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then thank you. I'm going to mute you till it's your turn. Another person, I'm just not quite sure. I'm asking to unmute. It's a gentleman with glasses, like a goatee type beard. Ania Malone. Could you tell me the actual name? Or is that the actual name? Yes, unmute and just tell me. Hello, can you tell me your name? You just unmuted. Could you talk?
Oh, Taylor.
Yes.
Me?
Yes, what's your name, please?
Bertoldo Ortiz Jr.
Okay. What you had on there, I didn't know who you were. Ania Malone. It might be somebody else's. I'm just going to change it, but it won't change it for you. It will actually, when you log out, it'll go back to what it was. So I just want to keep track of you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I have a person named Zoom user, and you're not on the screen. I'm going to ask you to start your video and unmute and tell me who you are, please.
Angel Campos.
Great. Okay, I'm going to actually just give you another, I'm going to give you that name, the proper name for this meeting. Let's see. And we'll be right back with you. I have another person named Fosh J. If you'll unmute and tell me your name, that would be great.
Okay, my name is Sharonda, S-H-A-R-O-N-D-A Johnson. Apologies, this is my work computer, so it comes up like that.
That's okay. And when I change it, it's not going to change it. Like when you log out, it'll just go back to what that is.
Okay.
Not a problem. I just don't want to wonder who you are and not have the right file when it's your turn. And let's see, there was a phone call, but it appears to have not made it in. So I'll address that later. Ms. Osmond, if you can unmute. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your case was dismissed. That was completed yesterday, and they'll be emailing or mailing that to you, or you can swing by the court if you want a copy, but you don't need to be in the meeting anymore.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. And let's see. Okay, so moving forward, I want to give you some basic information and bear with me. It should be helpful. And I keep it brief, but it helps people know how things move through a court and you know, at least what your options are. So I do want to let you know when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are ways that we have under the law for an accusation to be made against you. Okay. It can be called a charge, but it's an accusation. And then when you give a plea, you know, you've heard about giving a plea. You give a plea, you're giving an answer or a response to that accusation. There are three options for pleading in a court like this one: guilty, not guilty, no contest. Guilty means I did this. You're just saying what it says, that's me. No contest means I'm not going to tell you I did it. I'm not going to tell you I didn't do it. I'm going to let you sentence me, judge, without admitting or denying it. It's like a neutral moving forward in the sentencing. No contest. You've probably heard the term, or some of you may have heard the term, nolo contendere, means no contest. Okay, not contesting. If you plead not guilty, you are contesting the charge. You're saying, I want the state, that would be Ms. Rice, to prove this case against me. Okay, that is what a not guilty plea in effect means. It also has the effect of saying, I would like a trial. Okay, so not contesting or guilty, we're moving towards sentencing because we're not having a trial. Not guilty, we're moving toward a trial. Okay, there's a pretrial today for those who are scheduled. Then there is a final pretrial here in the court to handle things that need to be handled before we go to trial. Okay, and there's just a long-winded reason why we do it that way, but I'm not going to take your time with all the legal details. But I will tell you, if you need me to, you can ask a question about any of this when it's your turn. If you are contesting your charge, I am not allowed to go into the facts of your case. Okay, I can only schedule things and move that case toward resolution. A trial will resolve a case, okay, one way or another. But as a fair and neutral judge, I'm supposed to stay neutral. That means I don't air the facts and pre-decide them. So I don't talk to the prosecutor about your case. I don't talk to you about your case. We don't talk about what may or may not have happened. We do that in the courtroom where the deciding party, which is going to be a jury or the judge, makes a decision about it, okay? So I know it's normal to want to talk about your case, but there's a really good reason why I don't do that. And it lies in our Constitution, which of course I uphold. That's the job I have. So just take a deep breath if you're wanting to, you know, people, if they disagree, they have reasons why. Okay. And we'll. Okay. So if you plead guilty or no contest, I'm moving you into sentencing. And that normally means paying the fines and costs. Now, there's an automatic 30 days if it's needed. Okay. If you don't need it, I mean, I'll talk to you about that. If you need a longer term payout, there are times when I can do that. But it does add money to the charge. And that's a state law that I can't eliminate. Okay. And I will talk to you about your financial information, what you provided. Also, there are still normally let me back up. Normally the case goes on your record. You plead, you are found guilty, you pay. There are only 4 ways to gain a dismissal. And let me tell you what those are, okay? Compliance dismissals, the driver's safety course option, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Now let's start with compliance dismissals. The law designates some charges, certain accusations, to be dismissed through bringing the matter up to date, okay? I'm not going to list those right now. We would take a lot more time of your day to do that than we need, and it's going to gloss you over because there's too much detail, okay? It's just a lot, and I don't have that many of those cases on my docket, and I'm not trying to teach a class, okay? So expiration tags sometimes can be dismissed that way. That's an example. Insurance cases, if you didn't have insurance at the time of the stop, probably can't be dismissed. License invalid charges or no driver's license charges can't be dismissed for compliance most of the time. I'll look at it. Now, what I really want to tell you though is what you can expect from me as the judge of the court. And that is that if you have a compliance option available to you, I'll talk to you about it. You can ask me questions in case you think I forgot something. Not a problem. But too many people get nervous and don't know what to say. So I'm looking for those with you, okay, on a plea of guilty or no contest. Driving safety course options are not compliance eligible. Those are for things that are moving violations in the state of Texas. You have to pre-qualify to be in the program. I'll start trying to do that with you. Then you have to complete the program and get it done on time. Now, pre-qualifying is something I'll do with you. And then if we need, a little time, you have to pay the court costs. Now, every ticket, let me talk to you just a bit about the money on these things, because most of us don't really wake up thinking about this. Every ticket has a court cost and a fine, okay? When I'm giving you a number, or if a clerk gave you that number, they gave you the whole number combined, okay? In the driver safety course option, you pay the court cost and the fine is whole. The court cost gets paid, you get the class done, you get the record done, driving class, turned in on time, the case gets dismissed, and this fine over here on hold, I waive it. Okay, that's that program. We have that program because it actually incentivizes people to take that class. And what we know is that people do better. They drive better. And they move out of a bracket of death and dismemberment on the roadways. Texas is unfortunately the number 1 state where people get injured. And so if you take that course, you drive a little bit better, 6 to 12 months. And it just has an effect that is positive. So we incentivize that plan because you're going to pay less money. Your fine gets waived, even though you pay for a class and a record, you save money because it's your time. And, there's a switch off there because public safety is more important. Court costs that you pay, I can't waive them. I can't do anything but collect them on that driving safety course program. The reason being that those funds go to the state of Texas. I'm pointing to Austin. The fines, when you pay them, stay locally for roads, for infrastructure, for fire services, those kinds of things. So just be aware, there's a reason why things happen the way they do. And if you don't know the answer, if you have a question about it, you can ask. Okay, the third option for a dismissal is if you complete a deferred disposition. Deferred means delay. Disposition is just a word for making final. The legal creature that we call deferred disposition, that option is actually available only by request and then approval from the judge. So you have to ask for it at the time that you enter a plea or you waive it. What would that look like? Guilty, but I'd like a deferred. No contest, I'd like a deferred. That's how you ask. It's not that complicated, okay? But if you've ever been to another higher level court or watched a proceeding for any reason, the deferred you ask in those courts, only the prosecutor can bring that forward with you. Here in this court, here in a Class C court, you can ask the judge directly on a plea of guilty or no contest. If you've pleaded not guilty, you may also ask the prosecutor if you're on that docket, if that's an option. Now, delaying finding you guilty means we put an order in place with a list of requirements that are written down. You'll have a copy because you'll sign it. At the end, which is usually anywhere from 4 to 6 months, at the end, your case is dismissed, provided you met the requirements. Usually, sometimes there's a class, sometimes there's a record. We have to sort out the fines and costs. And then, you can't get more tickets, you can't get arrested. If you move, you need to tell us. Those sorts of things, mostly passive. And if you meet the requirements, then you get your case dismissed. So again, guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. That's how you ask. If you don't ask, I assume you don't want it, okay? Ask me a question if you have a question about that when it's your turn, okay? No problem. I can't give legal advice, but I can tell you how things move. I can tell you what your options are. There's a lot of information I can answer. If I can't answer it because there's a legal reason why I'm not allowed to be your legal advisor, I'll just tell you. So don't worry if your question is a right question or not. The only wrong question is the one you didn't ask, right? So that's third option. Fourth option is teen court. With teen court, if you're a student in a middle school or a high school, even a homeschool, or heading to a GED or a diploma, make sure, if I'm not talking to you about teen court, that you let me know you're in school. People can be, almost graduated or graduated, and I don't realize they're still in school. So let me know, okay? We should have caught it, but if I'm not talking to you about teen court and you're a student, let me know. Okay, teen court, really, you do things that help you not land in court again. And I dismiss it if you do those things. That's how that's going to work as a flow point. But it's individualized per person. If you think that you may be having trouble making payment, that's what the financial affidavits are for, in case I need to look at your finances. They're not to be nosy. They're not a presumption of guilt. They're just a way to look at your case so that if I need to look at your case, I can. Okay, that way I can know if you're going to be struggling with the payments, if I need to do things about that, adjust things or make different options available. So that's what that's for. Okay, we're going to start, and I'm going to do the breakout room for the pretrial docket. And give me just a quick moment to get that opened up. And so I'm starting with Shanika Neely. Ms. Neely, you're going to receive an invitation to the breakout room, and that's for your pretrial. That's a conversation with Ms. Rice, who will meet you there. When you're done with that discussion, you're coming back in this room because I need to speak with you before you go for the day. So you'll click back over. That's it. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And then I had a couple of people come in. Let's see, let me just do a quick, if I call your name and you're here, let me know. If I don't call your name, don't worry. It means I already know you're here. Gino Flores, did I miss you coming in? Because I see you not here. Victoria Folsom, are you here? I did not see you come in. Pamela Wilburn, are you here? I did not see you. And then Samuel Fleming, are you here? Reuben Johnson, are you here? Daria Williams, did you come in? Did I miss you? Judith Wilson, did I miss you? And I have an iPhone user. You went out, I think maybe, and came back in, and I'm sorry, I didn't write the name down properly. I just asked you to unmute. Could you tell me your name? Yes, sir. Gentleman with the glasses.
Lacey Gunning.
No, I got you, ma'am. I'm looking at a gentleman with glasses. He unmuted.
Robert Fulmer. Samuel Fleming.
Okay, Mr. Fleming. Let me see. There you go. I called your name. Okay. All right. Thank you. I will try not to lose track of you. So I'll change your name from iPhone to Mr. Fleming. Okay. And so let me get going. I'm going to say the name incorrectly. Shavunda Durham or Durham, if you could unmute and tell me how you're doing today. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Hello.
Yes. How are you doing? You might need to turn. I can hear you. You might need to turn yourself up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello. What the world?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me send her a message.
Judge. This is Siobhan Durham.
Well, you heard me call your name, so I don't know how you unmuted, but good morning.
Hello?
Ask her to unmute again. Ms. Durham,
Hello?
hi. You're not getting my texts in the chat and you're not hearing me. Although you did hear me call your name, so I don't know what happened to. Normally, if I can hear you, you can hear me, unless you've got a connectivity problem. I'm just talking, hoping she'll
I
be able
can't
to
hear.
All right. I'll come back to her, get it resolved. See if maybe. Yeah, she needs to turn her volume up because she probably got turned down. She'll probably be back in a moment, but I'm going to move on for now with Robert Fulmer. Good morning, Mr. Fulmer. Can you unmute and tell me good morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Good. I'm getting your file pulled up. There we go. I have a number of cases with you, and just give me a quick moment to review your information. Okay, let me go through here. And okay, so I have a number of cases and I have no contest pleas on all of those cases. I know that you were with the clerk when you did those probably. And did you have an opportunity to review what those cases were about, each one, before you made your plea on the paper that you signed?
Yes, ma'am. I paid a couple of them on the 27th, but I don't know if they're in here or not. And I'm kind of
Today is the 27th.
not on 27th. I'm sorry. I think it's, what day was it?
Was that today? It matters.
No, the 21st, I think. Yeah.
My balances will reflect any payments that have been made.
Where's the paper?
I think those weren't even on the printout because I think.
I think some of these.
Here, let me just walk you through those. Okay. Here's what I still have pending. Okay. There's an old case, driving while license invalid. And it has a balance of $268.97. You've already entered a plea. That's just a balance with a warrant, a capious warrant for non-payment. Then there is a school zone speeding charge from December 4th of 2019. It is in warrant. The balance is $425.10 because warrant balances go up. And I have a no contest plea that you entered the other day on the 18th on that one. And that's not paid now. Then I have an expired motor vehicle registration charge, December 4th, 2019. The balance is $260 and it is in warrant. You have pled no contest. Then I have a no insurance charge, often called failure to maintain financial responsibility. And that is from December 4th of 2019. The balance is $430.30 and you have entered a no contest plea. Then I have a wrong obscured insignia. That means a plate being obstructed, obscured, or just improperly attached. And that is in warrant with a balance of $343.07. And again, it's December 4th, 2019. Then there is what we call violating the promise to appear. So everyone should know this. With a ticket, you get a court date on the ticket. And then you sign, you have to sign it or they don't release you. They take you to jail. You sign saying, you have a court date. The court date is on that ticket. And if you don't honor that promise to appear, you get a charge filed called Violating the Promise to Appear. You just get one of those, not for every day you missed, but just one time. And then the balance is $434.20 on that charge, and you have entered a plea, Mr. Fulmer, of no contest. Then there is a December 12th stop from 2021 for no insurance, and the balance is $281, and you have entered a plea of no contest. So I have reviewed your financial affidavit, and I am finding that you are not able to pay more. If you paid some things, they've already been taken off and removed. I think there were more things pending.
Yeah,
But
two more.
I can order community service for in your particular case, because I am determining that you're indigent and would have trouble making payment. And therefore, I would say, if we can do community service, then we will do it. If you have, I don't know, I haven't asked you yet. Do you have any disabilities that?
Yeah, I'm disabled now.
Okay, so, and that can be for a number of reasons, and you don't have to tell me or disclose it. But what I'm going to tell you is what I normally do at this point is I order the community service with a due date in 60 days, which is March 25th. And then you can see your doctor. And if your doctor says you can't do the community service, then on or before your due date, you need to bring me a doctor's note saying you can't do the community service. And at that point, it's very possible that I could waive the remaining balance. Okay. Otherwise, I'll expect you to start kind of chipping away at those hours. And then if you can't get them all done on or before your due date, then you come in and ask for an extension and turn in what you've been able to do. Does that make sense to you, sir?
Yes. I mean, I could stand, but not for a long, long period of time.
Well, and so that's another thing is that I've got a number of places that will allow you to come in and do community service. And you can look at that list, and I'll recall your warrants while you have time to engage in this process. You're going to need to come in and pick that paperwork up because it's a big packet.
Okay.
And then you look at the places, you read the directions, you make sure you get your due date nailed down in your, on your calendar. And then you look and you can call and see if there are things you feel comfortable doing, but you should not do anything that you feel like you shouldn't do based on, disability for sure. If you feel like you can't do it, take that list in with the information you've gotten at that point and talk to your doctor about it and let your doctor give you his or her medical advice. And if the advice is not to do it, then bring me that note because most doctors will go ahead and give you such a note. Okay. So that's how we do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask you, when can you come to the clerk's desk and make a signature and pick up your packet so that you're free to go do this?
Okay. Probably Monday morning.
No, I mean today. When can you get in?
Today?
Yeah, it has to be today. Today's your court date. It won't take you very long. It'll take you maybe 10 minutes once you get here.
Yeah, getting down there, I'll have to walk.
Okay, where do you live? You live in Temple, right?
Yeah, I live in Second and Avenue M.
Okay, well, I mean, you're on 2nd Street.
Yes.
We're on, we're just right over here on 3rd.
Yeah, it's about 20 blocks from me. I'll say about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, or whatever you need to do to get here. I mean, that's the thing is I do have to get signatures, especially where we're recalling warrants. Okay.
Do I go to the clerk?
Yes, it'll only take a few moments.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Do you have any questions before I let you go?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Rice, I know that you were talking with, Ms. Neely, and y'all can both unmute. And Ms. Rice, are we heading to trial or are we heading to any kind of resolution?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution. State's going to request to dismiss, and I'll send over that motion to dismiss after court today.
Okay, Ms. Neely, they're going to dismiss your case. Wait, I think I saw you come in. Oh, there you are. Hi,
Here.
ma'am. Hi. So, we can email that to you in this particular case using the email that we set the meeting up on today. Will that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, and then that'll resolve everything. I don't think you have anything else pending here at the court. So with the thanks of the court, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neely.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And Ms. Rice, I'm so sorry. Mr. Ortiz is your next person. Mr. Ortiz, an invitation to join that meeting is being sent to you now. Just hit the accept button and then you'll come back over at the end of that meeting. Ms. Durham, I saw her trying to come in and I don't think she made it. Are you here, Ms. Durham? Just double checking. Okay, thank you. I'm moving then to Laurie Andrews. Ms. Andrews, if you could unmute and let me know, say good morning. That way we can start trying to see if we're connected.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So I did get your information. You're at Lake Belton. And we did send, this is the possession of tobacco by a minor, okay?
Yes.
And we emailed you some additional information on the 25th. Were you able to receive that information?
No, ma'am. I haven't yet checked my email. I'm a nurse. I work really long hours, so I have yet to check.
I do understand. My daughter happens to be a nurse. Can you open your email perhaps while we're on this meeting? It's several pages. It's better, unless you're an audio learner, and your daughter is. That's who we're really talking about here. 6 pages. Unless you're an audio learner, it's pretty hard to do it. But I'm certainly willing to read through these with you if you can't access it, or if you're not able to look at it while you're in the meeting. That's understandable too. Are you able to access it while we meet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Let me know when you have that pulled up. And Laurie, I want to ask you, you're 14 today, is that right?
No, ma'am. I'm 15.
Okay, happy birthday. That just happened.
Thank you.
And I did get your plea, which was a plea of guilty, I believe, yes, on this charge. I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment, but without saying yes or no to it, yes or no to whether or not you're guilty. Did you understand the discussion I had a moment ago about the options for pleading of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you feel like you know the meaning of those different pleas? Do you know what they mean? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then you're charged with possession of tobacco by a minor. The court costs and fines, if you came to the window and paid it, are $181. Okay. Also, with that, the state requires when you have a charge like that, if you're being sentenced, that you also complete a tobacco awareness class. If you fail to complete it once it's ordered, the law requires that I suspend either your license, or if you don't have one, which you probably don't yet, your ability to obtain one, which would mean that your license history would contain a suspension in your past, and that can affect when you get your license at times. So I just need you to be aware of the consequences of being found guilty, and also be aware of what happens if you're if you don't complete the state required class. Okay. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to pause for a minute and move Ms. Rice forward. Ms. Rice, you were talking to Mr. Ortiz, and let me get the file pulled. But my question is of you and Mr. Ortiz, y'all can both unmute. Are we heading, Ms. Rice, to resolution? Or are we heading to trial?
I don't think we reached a resolution, Your Honor. State's going to request a dismiss, and I will send that dismissal over after court today.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Ortiz, a dismissal is being given by the state, and I don't think you have anything else pending. I would email that to the email that you have on file rather than have you come over to pick it up, since you're not having to sign it. will that work for you at the email that we used to set the meeting up?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you're free to go with the thanks of the court, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. God bless.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So we are removing.
Am I done, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
Thank you,
free
ma'am.
to-
God bless.
You're free to go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Ms. Rice, I'm moving you forward with Sharonda Johnson. Ms. Johnson, are you able to unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So I'm going to send you that meeting invitation. And just remember, you're coming back into this meeting at the end.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'm moving forward then with Ms. Andrews. And Ms. Andrews, I'm sorry, Laurie Andrews, you can unmute. Yes, thank you. Are y'all able to look at those forms that we sent? They start with page 1.
I do not have any other email other than this Zoom.
Okay, it may have been rejected by your server. Let's just walk on through it, shall we? Okay, and I'm getting feedback. Let me see. So the reason I leave everybody muted is because if you're on unmute, what I get is I hear my voice over and over. When the person whose turn it is talks to me, I hear that repeated, and it becomes impossible. I have to start doing 4 words at a time. It doesn't work very well. So everybody wait for your turn, and you will have an opportunity to be unmuted and to talk to me when it's your turn. If we were in court, we would take turns. Okay. So Ms. Andrews, the first one is a magistrate warning form, and it basically says you're charged with the offense of possession of tobacco by a minor. That is a Class C misdemeanor. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you prior to and during any interviews by questioning by state actors such as the prosecutor or peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have the right to remain silent. You're not required to make any statement. Any statement made by you can be used against you in court. And you have the right to stop any interview or questioning at any time. Your signature on this form, and I'm going to have to collect that today. Don't fret. There are more forms you're going to have to sign. So it's not a big deal that you didn't receive it yet or that it didn't get through. It's not a problem. But do you understand these rights? They're basically your options for hiring an attorney before we proceed, and your option to hire an attorney before I accept your plea. That's really what we're talking about here. Do you understand that option, those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will you be willing to sign a form that says you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
She is able to come today. So she was diagnosed with COVID. So she's
Okay.
quarantined while she's wearing a mask sitting next to me.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Do you have the ability to print something at home?
Possibly. If not, I can download it and I can run to Staples.
I might not really want to do that to your family because COVID can be mild, but it can be severe, and you just never know. And quite frankly, I hope, Ms. Andrews, that you're not starting to smoke because COVID and smoking, it's just not compatible. I'm going to tell you that. I will say that because I lost a family member with COPD to COVID. But anyway, all that is the long-winded way of saying we'll sort it out. Okay. Court's not about straining people. And honestly, with COVID, I'm willing to reschedule if you feel like it's too much right now.
She's fine. She's having very mild symptoms. It's just
Okay.
if she has to sign anything, I don't want her going into the courthouse today.
We completely agree too. I also sent page 2, and page 2 has an address here in Temple on Starview. Is that your correct address still?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I don't read addresses or phone numbers out on the internet. Okay, the next form is going to be a long looking form. What it basically tells you in its form number 3 is that you have a duty to keep your address current until this case is completed. Okay, Ms. Andrews?
Yes, ma'am.
The fourth form is short and it just says, at sentencing point, I'm going to make an order, a court order. And if you don't follow the court order, you can be held in contempt of court. That would result in like another charge could be filed against you, and activities such as pursuing you for a conviction, fulfillment of the court order. Those are the kinds of things that could happen when you're underage. I don't arrest you for contempt, but you have further problems with the court. It's better to do it all in the beginning. I'll talk more about that at the sentencing point. But what it really means, and this is going to be labeled page 4 at the bottom, is that you understand there can be consequences if you don't follow your court order, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's a last form, it's page 5 and 6. And that form just tells you that you have a duty to keep your address. I'm sorry, that you have the option of doing, sorry, let me back up. When you turn 17, I'm sorry, hold on. Tobacco smoking age is changed. It's now 21. When you turn 21, I'm sorry, the age for being allowed to smoke in Texas changed by law. And what it means now, or what it says now, is that you can start smoking legally when you're 21. It used to be 17, and now it's 21, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what the form here is going to tell you is that you have the, sorry, I'm just realizing I can do some things on your form to not have so much that you have to sign with the restriction that you have. So when you turn 21, if you want to have the item removed from your record, you can apply to the court, which is here, and ask that it be removed from your record, okay? Now, I did receive your plea of guilty to possession of tobacco by a minor. I believe you understand what's going on here. You know what you're charged with. You know your pleading options, and you've pleaded guilty. Ms. Andrews' mother, do you feel like she understands the charges and the consequences?
I'm aware that she understands that she's guilty. I don't think that she understands what all it entails. This is the first time she's ever been in trouble. So she doesn't understand the full consequence and what you were trying to explain to her. She knows that if she doesn't take care of it, it can affect her driver's license in the long run. But as far as it being on her record, I don't think she understands that.
Okay, and I apologize. I was reviewing that with her while you were looking on your computer. What I told her was the fines are $181, and she's going to be required to take a class.
Yes, ma'am.
I think she understood. Do you feel, Laurie, like you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we're going to look at teen court instead. With teen court, there's a $20 fee and a class. It's the same class, okay? So I tell you right up front, that's a good class. That's the class we want to do. And I'm going to require that you take a class as a part of teen court, which you can do online, and pay a $20 teen court fee. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So the $20 fee, I want to think about that because, mom's getting exposure. Mom may or may not, she may be fine. She may not. We just don't know. And I like to plan the right way. I don't like to set things up for people to fail. Okay. So what I want to do then is just say, can we pay the $20 fee no later than February 10th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the class is not going to be due until March 25th. And what I'm going to do is say no later than February 10th, y'all are going to come in and sign, okay, your documents and make the $20 cash payment and pick up the class information. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And that way it's not really on hold. We've got court dates, everything's moving forward, but we're going to just make an allowance so that after we get off the meeting today, y'all just come in. Don't worry about printing anything out. Okay. Don't worry about signing everything today. because I'm basically extending it for signatures and payment in 2 weeks when we know you're probably in the clear. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
The $20 fee on top of the 181, or is it
No.
just?
No,
Okay.
please let me explain again, and I'm sorry if that was not clear.
No.
So 181 and the class are the legal consequences of being found guilty. We are substituting teen court for that option.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when we do that, it changes, because the goal of teen court is for the young person to take responsibility, do their sentence, not just rely on a parent to come in and take care of it. Because what I know from experience and what the literature and the data suggests is Laurie, if you take responsibility and complete this, I don't see you again. If mom takes responsibility for you, I see you again. So we want, with all due respect, I don't want to see you again unless it's somewhere else. Court's not where I want to see you. And smoking, I will tell you, just from personal experience, smoking killed my mother.
Mine as well.
Smoking killed my mother's twin sister. Smoking killed my aunt. Smoking kills people. Now, it doesn't kill you right away. So when you're young and you smoke, there's like some things that happen with that make you feel like it's not that bad of an option. And I understand that, because I know people who were addicted to smoking and they didn't think like it's a great idea to hurt myself. That's not what was happening for them. What was happening for them was completely not about hurting themselves. So it's really important to get some good education right now while we have you captive with a sentencing option. And, we incentivize it. So you're going to save $181. Yeah, you're going to pay for a class, but it's going to be about $50, $75 to $50. And a lot less expensive for you, for your family. We're asking for their help in paying for that class probably. You can maybe think about earning that home. You can do some chores to pay for that, But as far as the court goes, we get you through that class, what we know, and it's not even a boring class. It's actually pretty interesting. I've taken it. What we do know is that you're less likely to become a lifelong smoker. And that's really the thing we want to prevent. Okay. All right. We will see y'all on February 10th. It can be any time that day. Okay. But I need a parent with you. You don't just come in from the car alone. Parent comes in to sign too, because you're still underage. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Ms. Andrews.
Have a great day.
Y'all too. Y'all can email back. I think big documents aren't getting through. So I would say send to split those 6 pages into 3. Sorry, it's going to wind up being like, with all the teen court documents, probably 10 pages. So I would go to 3 and split it into 3. You get my meaning. Okay. So thank you. So just moving along. Miss Durham, are you back in the meeting? Let me try to pull her in. Someone has. So, Miss Durham, you'll need to unmute and turn up your volume.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I started on my phone. I thought that might work and it didn't. So good. I found my iPad.
Perfect. I have someone unmuted and it's causing feedback. Okay, well, we'll just keep trying. Ms. Durham, you have 2 charges. One is an expired license and one is an expired vehicle registration. And you've been really good about being on time for court, which is great because you've kept your options open for possibly getting one or both of these dismissed. I did get a request for a further extension. And what I'm trying to do with these extensions is give you the option to get your license unexpired, which you normally do online, and it takes about 15 minutes. Is that an option for you to do that?
No, ma'am. I went to the, so I'm new to the area. I went down to the DPS office thinking I could do that. Well, I tried online and I couldn't. They're too far expired, so I
Okay.
couldn't do that. So
Got it.
I went in person, and they're not taking appointments in person. And so I went online to schedule. You have to schedule your appointment for that. And the next availability for what I need to do is not until March. It's
Okay.
March the 3rd, and I did schedule it on March
Okay.
the 3rd at 1:30.
Did you check just the Temple office?
I checked the Temple office, yes, and then there was a Colleen, and it was I believe there was one Colleen February 14th, but I don't drive that, like, I didn't schedule. I can try that one, but I would need someone to take me.
Right. I understand that. It becomes a double bind, doesn't it, when you're trying to get it done and you can't drive because it's expired. So what I would say is, let's come back to that. The vehicle registration is probably a very similar problem, although they are a little bit easier to get into. How soon could you get that done?
It's done. I
Okay.
sent the documents into Xena just when I couldn't get in the first time. I thought, okay, what do I do? So I just sent my documents and explained that you obviously removed me because you had to move on to other people, but that
No.
I had my document.
No, I removed you because I was trying to chat with you. I wasn't getting a response. I could hear you, but you could not hear me.
Mm-mm.
And the way that I could tell that you couldn't hear me, I knew you were having technological problems. I couldn't tell you, hey, you're having technological problems. So what I did was I removed you because I thought she'll start trying to solve the problem or maybe get a better signal back in.
Yes, yes,
And
ma'am.
I just marked your place and noted that I would come right back to you as soon as I could. So,
Thank you.
I get it. And I did not mean to be rude, but there was no way
You
for me to
weren't.
tell. There was
No,
no
you were
way,
not.
no way for me to tell you anything. We're looking for that document. And
I just
yeah, I
screenshot
know.
it.
Just hold on, let me talk to a clerk.
Okay.
So she may not have even received it yet. If we could check the court on it. We got it. We're opening it. So you know how the technology goes.
Yes, ma'am.
We're
I'd be happy to drive it by too.
No, you don't need to. We're running multiple platforms
Okay.
at the same time. So sometimes things go more slowly than they need to, or than we would like.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she's good to go. So on that one, can she pay that fee online? Okay, so on that one, I can sign a dismissal today.
Okay.
There's a $20 fee for dismissing.
Okay.
That is a state thing, state law.
Right.
So I am going to need to come by the court to pay that because I
can
can't
do
do
that.
it. Okay. Can you do that this morning?
I can.
Okay. All right. Then we're going to have that there at the front desk this morning, and you will get a copy of it, and you'll sign an extension on your driver's license so that you can get a dismissal there too. And
Okay.
I'm thinking, let's put it March 25th.
Okay.
Probably you won't need that much time,
Right.
but that's a nice round number of 60 days.
Okay.
And that way, if you run into any hiccups, maybe we'll have it planned or, front loaded so you don't have to keep signing for extensions. Okay. When you come in, that's a $10 dismissal fee, right? 20. If you can pay the $20 dismissal fee for the expired driver's license, and then get your driver's license and email it to us, we'll already have the fee, so you won't have to come back in to do it.
No problem.
Okay.
Now, I said this morning, I agreed to this morning, but I won't have a way there probably till 3 o'clock to pay that. Is 3 o'clock okay?
That's fine. I'll just put this evening. But we close at 5, so try to get here before 4:30.
No problem.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Durham.
Thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
have a good day.
You have a pleasant day as well. Bye-bye.
Thanks. I'll be with you shortly. I've got to finish court this morning. And I thought I would be finished, but it's just not. I hope you have a few minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. I have the officer needing a warrant. It doesn't have to do with this moment. Ms. Gamble, if you could unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine. I'm so sorry for all the stuff going on. I have twins and I'm trying to drop them off at the granny. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just don't drive while in court. That's the only
Oh,
thing.
I'm not. No, ma'am. We stay in the same apartments.
Right. Oh, good. So I have 3 charges. They're in warrant, and I believe you've entered pleas on them. Just give me a quick moment to review.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, I received a no contest plea on the speeding charge from November 17th. These are 2015. The fines and costs are going to reflect the passage of time, $444.60, and you've pleaded no contest. Is that your plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there's a driving while license invalid charge from the same stop. If you paid it at the window, it's $456.17, and I have a no contest plea on that. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am, because I'm trying to just hurry up and get it over with.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about how we get it over with in a minute. Okay. So right now I'm just trying to nail down that I have the correct plea, and
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
made those pleas, but I'm confirming them. And there was a plea for not appearing in court back in, at this point and up until now. And the plea that you entered was no contest. Is that your plea today?
I kind of didn't understand that one because I wanted to see if it was possible to get that one dismissed. I live in Houston and I've been living in Houston. And at the time when I got those tickets, I was a traveling nurse.
Yeah.
And
So here's what the law says in Texas. You're given a court date, and it doesn't mean you come in. It means you at least write a letter.
okay.
And we've been here since 2015, and we didn't hear from you. So that charge was filed about 60 days after you didn't show up. I'm not able to dismiss it.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I did review your financial information. I am able to make a determination in your case that you could not make payment, and
Yes, ma'am.
therefore I can order community service, which will definitely be faster than paying it out.
Okay.
You have a lot going on. So, so with community service, I would give you a number of hours, which I'm trying to calculate while I talk to you. And,
Yes, ma'am.
And that's going to be 67 hours.
Okay.
And then right now I would do a due date of March 25th.
Okay.
And then you would turn it in by then, or come get an extension. I would recall your warrants pending you're coming in to get that done, turn it in.
Okay. And can I get it done before that date?
Yeah, you can. If you don't, then you come in to get an extension. I mean, if you got it done in a month, that would be fine with me. I don't need you to wait to turn it in. I need you to get it done as soon as possible. If you need more time, I need you to communicate by that deadline. Turn in whatever you've got and tell me how much more time you think you need. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I need you to come by and sign for your packet.
I live in Houston. Do I still have to come?
Well, I need to email it to you, and you need to print it and sign it and get it back
Yes,
to
ma'am.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good time to learn how to communicate with us on time. So we'll email it to the email that we have on file. Okay. And you need to print it, sign it. I need the legal signature. And then you're going to have directions for how you find a provider in your community. Okay. A local list of suggestions, which isn't going to help you find a place, but it is going to give you some idea of what I'm looking for. It must be a nonprofit under Texas law. Make sure that it is one, because if you do it at a place that is not a nonprofit, you will wind up with just doing it over. And it's really, it hurts your situation. It makes it harder. So just find a place, that is a nonprofit. Make sure they're willing to supervise you and do your paperwork. It's not a lot of paperwork. They just have to sign off on your hours and be willing to accept that we call them and verify that they're a nonprofit and maybe ask them some questions. And then, and then the deal is, once you get that turned in, I zero out your balance and I release your license.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We'll be sending that to you later this morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So moving forward, then I have James Baggett. Mr. Baggett, are you still in the meeting? There you are. Can you unmute and talk to me? I've been watching. I'm not really sure that we have audio on you, so I'm hitting you with a request to connect your audio. I was hoping it would resolve before we got to you. I don't think you can hear me, and I don't think you know you can hear me, but in case you can hear me, I'm going to remove you from the meeting in hopes that you will log back in. I may try you after court if I don't hear from you. We may need to reschedule so that you can get your technology working. I'm going to move forward for now. And Miss Baxter, Ashlyn Baxter, can you unmute? Or Christina Baxter on screen.
Hi, we're getting it together.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Good morning. I saw you all meet and suddenly you went away. So Ms. Baxter, you are 16 today, and so
Yes.
I need a parent with you. And so who do we have here? You don't look old enough to be the parent. What's your name?
This is my mom.
Christina Baxter.
Okay.
And she's just
Okay, Miss Baxter, and Ashlyn, there is a driving on the wrong way on a one-way roadway, and if you paid it at the window, it's $234. I did receive proof of employment and a request for teen court with a plea of no contest, and so I would say, do you understand your pleading options? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand what you were charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
And is no contest your plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
And so teen court requires a $20 teen court fee. Can you pay that fee in cash today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there will be a driver safety course that you do and turn in not later than March 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that sound to you?
Sounds perfect. It was, my mom was in the car with me and it was dark and it was like one of those chaotic moments and you're like, what do I do? You know what I mean? And then
Yes,
it was on New Year's Eve and there was cops out everywhere. So it was bound to happen.
She drove.
There were also impaired drivers everywhere.
That's why he thought I was drunk.
Right. We were by my school, Lamar Middle School, and we
Yeah.
were cleaning out my classroom, and we had drove to drop some stuff off, and then came back, and I would let her drive because she's going through her permit process, and it was just one of those super chaotic moments. I'm already nervous in the car with her, and then it was we told her to turn left, and there was poor lighting, everywhere, and so she turned and she's like, ah, and I was like, no, here. She's like, where? I can't see. And next thing you know, we're head on, there's lights. And I was like, oh crap, Ashley.
Okay. So I totally get it. Okay. That's a reason to do another class. Okay. And I need you to come in to sign it and do the payment because that one is a cash only payment. Mm-hmm. When can y'all be here today?
I have a meeting at noon. So what time do y'all close?
I would need you here by 4, no later than 4.
That's easy. We can do
What time should we look for you?
Let's do 2:00.
Okay. We will see you.
Between 2 and 3.
Yes.
I don't know how long you might last, so.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Just come to, okay, thank you.
The same place you came to do your forms, the court.
That was online.
Well, we got a picture of someone at some point, so I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I uploaded it all. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Oh, it was because you'd had teen court on something else a while back. Maybe.
I did.
I don't-
Yes.
Doesn't look like it. Okay, and I have did you used to wear glasses, Ashley?
I still do. I just don't have them on right now.
Okay, yeah, we have a picture of you, so I know you've been here. Okay, I'm just confirming with the wrong person in the picture. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that y'all will find it. We are at 401 North 3rd Street.
3rd Street. Okay, gotcha.
We're the Temple Municipal Court, so you
Yes,
can
I know where you are.
any search is gonna pull that up. It's right down the
I
street.
know
from
exactly
me.
where you are. You're right there on Lamar, right by Lamar.
Right,
Okay.
but you asked, so okay, thank you.
I just wasn't sure. Okay, if it was that or the annex, so that's all.
Bye-bye. So I'm gonna move Lacey Gunning in and see if we can connect her. She's been in and out. But my next person is Knock Dang. Good morning, Mr. Dang. How are you? Can't hear you yet. You've got to unmute.
Yes, Your Honor. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, okay. I did not see you anymore.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Well, that's going to have something to do with your technology, but you don't need to see me, I think, at this point. But I can see you actually. So there are 2 charges, and one is possession or use or selling of fireworks, and the fines and costs there are $481. And I did receive your request, your plea of no contest. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then I did receive a request for community service. I'm not able to approve it at this time. I can give you time to pay this out. It does go up after 30 days. It is $481. Do you need more time, more than 30 days to make payment in full?
Well, let me explain the case. So that was on New Year Day.
Yeah.
And we didn't know any better not to have firework in the city limit. And mostly our children firework. My children play with the children firework. They were New Year Day. They were COVID. They were cold. We could not go anywhere. And very sorry that we didn't know that illegal to do that. That's why I plead to ask you today.
Yeah, I'm not able to dismiss the charge. The fines and costs are $481, and really the question I have today is whether you can pay that within 30 days or not.
Okay. All right, then we have to pay for it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need more than 30 days?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then I'll need you to come by to sign for the 30 days to pay this morning, okay?
All right.
Yeah, I need you to come to court this morning. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So do you have questions about that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you'll come by and sign, okay, for 30 days to pay. And then your other charge, the red light charge, has a final date for court on February 2nd at 1 o'clock, okay? Okay, Mr. Dang? We'll see you later today. What time should we look for you to come to court this morning?
I do not know. I will come by to sign it before the office closes.
Okay, we'll see you at noon.
So much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Rice, I know that you were talking with Ms. Johnson, and if y'all could unmute and let me know, Ms. Rice first, are we heading to resolution or trial?
We've reached resolution, Your Honor. State's requesting to do a deferral Ms. Johnson indicated that she's unable to make payment today. I'm gonna let her explain it to you, but she's going through a lot of financial difficulties right now due to a fire. So it'd be a 120-day deferral, but just the regular other conditions, no convictions, no warrants, and keeping her information current with the court.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to advance you forward. Samuel Fleming is here. Mr. Fleming, I know you've been laying down. I've kind of allowed it because some people are sick right now, but we really normally don't lay down in a courtroom. So let's not do that for the remainder perhaps of the meeting. But you're going to receive an invitation to a pretrial discussion with Ms. Rice, and then you'll come back into this meeting at that conclusion. Ms. Johnson, just a quick question. Are you still able to be working? I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
you've probably had to be out with what's happened, and everything has changed from what you. Well, no, you're showing me that
Yeah.
the fire happened. Okay. So I'm looking for what's going to work. Okay. This one is $259. Give me a moment to just look at your finances because, well, I don't really do that on the not guilties until I see that I need to do it. So unless I have,
Yeah, we just got into the new place. We were staying in Motel 6. That was lovely expenses. And then, so yeah, we felt we had renter's insurance, me and the kids. We did not. When my mom passed away, unexpectedly, she was 4 days and she was gone from pancreatic cancer. She'd told me you have the life insurance, pay everything off and get out of debt, which I did. And then we lost everything in the fire a month later. So now I'm just right back in that trying to get furniture again, trying to have this, trying to have that. So it's usually I'm not in this bad of shape. I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. We lost 3 pets, but we had 2 that were burned pretty bad. And he's like laying right here now. They've come out of it. It's just I've got that vet bill down to $96 from over 3,500. But I mean, we're getting there.
Okay. I'm so sorry to hear about all of this happening. Okay, taking a deep breath and thinking about this. Can I look at the file now? I think what I would like to do is go with a reduction and time to do the payment.
Okay.
And what we have to do in the deferred, Ms. Gunning, I need you to sit up, okay? Thank you. And are you sick, Ms. Gunning? Hold on just a moment, Ms. Johnson. Okay, so if you're too sick to be in online court, I'm going to ask you to unmute and
I sent COVID results to y'all to see if I could reschedule, but no one ever emailed me back.
Well, that means we didn't get it probably, but let me just look at it. I can certainly reschedule you. I certainly wouldn't have you on here if I'd known you'd ask.
Yes, ma'am.
2 weeks from today is going to be February 10th. And we'll see you. We'll send a link again like we did today.
I didn't get a link today. I just had that paper that they gave me.
So you didn't come into the meeting on a link today? How did you get here?
I just used this code that you had on the paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I didn't get a link. I just had this.
Okay, well, what email do you have? Because we're sending things to your email.
Yeah, it's the one that's on this paper, Lacey Lynn 21 at iCloud, but I haven't received any email from y'all.
I don't know why not. Because we're sending
I just
stuff.
downloaded the Zoom app and it just let me put the number in manually.
Okay, well, we'll mail it to you and we'll email it to you too. But if your email doesn't receive it, then you need to figure out why your email isn't receiving email. Because we're certainly emailing it to you. And we apparently aren't getting email from you or having you receive any email. So there's something going on with your email. We'll mail it to you and hopefully it'll work out.
Okay.
If it's not working out, you need to come into the court and talk to someone.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't want you're in warrant and I'd like to get it resolved.
Okay. If I just sit up, is there any way we could just get it done today then?
If you want to stay in the meeting when it's your turn, I will work with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Ms. Johnson, the court costs are $134. And I can reduce your fine to $50. And that would bring your total down to $184. If I broke that into two payments, it would be three payments, sorry, it would be 62, 62, sorry, and $60. And I could lengthen out the deferral to 150 days. That would give us more time. And the first payment would be March 1st. The second payment would be, let me see, April 1st, but let me check if that's a weekend. April 1st. And the final payment would be May 2nd. With your deferral ending June 28th. Are you able to sign such a document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will that help address the difficulties you're facing right now?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, great. If you run into problems, talk to a clerk. Don't just, it's common when people get into a bind to go, I'm just going to ignore it and deal with it later. Maybe it'll go away, and it won't. So come on in if you run into problems, but I need to get a signature today. Can you come by and do it? Or do I need to, you're in Hewitt, I can email it if you can.
Yes, please.
You can print it, sign it, send it back to us, and call and make sure we receive it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then we'll email that to you here later this morning, okay?
Is it just one page I need to print and sign?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You want me to go or?
You're good to go.
Thank you so much.
You can stay if you want to, but I'm assuming you have other things to do.
Yeah, I'll probably thank you.
Okay. So then moving forward, I have Miss Campos, Angel Campos.
Yes, ma'am.
So we sent a show cause because we were, let's see, we were needing your driving permit. It was originally due November 2nd, and we extended to November 17th. Then we wanted proof of insurance showing you were covered. Again, we extended, and then there was a course Alive at 25 due, and you were extended. And right now, as it stands, I believe we don't have any of your documents. And you've not completed your teen court agreement. What's going on?
I did my Alive at 25 class. I did it November 15th, and then
why don't we have it? Do we have it? We don't have it. We don't have that. Why haven't you turned it in?
I don't supposed to turn it in.
So here's a question. When you have a library book out, you ever taken a book out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When it's due and you don't turn it in, do you just decide to keep it forever, or do you just try to get it turned in?
Well, I didn't know do that because they gave me this thing at the class. When I finised the class, I didn't know
it was due. It was due here at the court, and I need it. How quickly can you get it to me?
I can take it today.
Yeah, because it's been a couple of months. I've been hoping you would turn it in. Okay, I need that. And then the next thing I need is your permit. Did you get your permit?
No, ma'am. I couldn't get that because my principal he wouldn't sign my the blue form.
Why not?
Because last year I missed a lot of school, and he said that like he was like being or rude about it. He just told me that like if I don't come to, like, since I didn't go to school, why should he sign it for me?
Yeah, she's allowed to do that for attendance purposes.
Yes.
They are. Yeah, you've got to have some goodwill there, and you burned it not going to school last time or whatever. I don't know. But since we can't complete teen court, alive at 25, we can count, but we can shift what we're doing over to a deferral. But I'm going to need your signature on it today. But on the deferral, I mean, I don't think it's realistic to try to get you to get us a permit when obviously you weren't able to get us a permit. You know, you're not able to get it. And I don't know how long that principal wants to hold that. So alive at 25, we'll take that as part of your deferral. It's like probation, except there's no fees for probation. It's you're going to do classes. And what we'll shift to doing is 120 days with no more citations, alive at 25, turn in today, okay, when you come to sign the document.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then I'm going to have you do another online course in, it's like a life skills class.
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll pay for it and take it, and you have to turn it in on time. Here, that means you turn it in. Not that you complete it, but it's due to turn in at the court. Okay? And that'll be due, that's going to be due March 25th. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you sign that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then I will have that at the front desk. What time should we look for you?
I'll say around 12.
Okay. And bring that alive at 25 with you and lawfully get here. Don't drive illegally, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll see you and your driver around that time, okay? Yes? Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Rice, you and Mr. Fleming, have y'all been able to reach an agreement? And Mr. Fleming?
I think this case is headed to trial.
Okay, that's fine. Sir, Mr. Fleming, we have a final pretrial here, February 23rd at 1 o'clock, and we will expect to see you in the court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Ms. Rice, I don't have anyone else on your list for you, so you are good to go.
Okay. I did have a few things to tell you about what we discussed yesterday, but maybe you could just call me later after court.
That will work. I'm
Okay.
going to make a note because I don't want to forget.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rice.
All right. Bye.
You have a great day. Talk to you soon. And Ms. Gunning, if you can unmute, let's get back on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to know what happened after we do this? Because I'm worried that you're too sick to do court.
No, I'll remember. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm showing is all the previous cases that were unpaid. And then we've got 2 new cases.
Yes, ma'am. I went through some things when those old cases, whenever I was doing community service with them, my ex actually broke into my house. He's in jail on like $150,000 bond, or was. We're still doing court for that. So I actually left with me and my children and moved to Dallas for a little while.
Okay.
And then we were able to come back, but within, the hecticness of everything, I just, we had to leave.
Okay.
He's still looking at stalking, breaking and entering, habitation, and all of that. So we just kind of, and it wasn't, I should have been more responsible and thought about my tickets and everything, but in the moment, I pretty much just jumped ship and took me and the kids and left.
Okay. Couple of questions. And first, before we talk about, I did hear you. Let me talk about one thing I need to clarify, and then we'll jump into what do we do next, okay? Which all of that definitely relates to. On your insurance charge from December 19th, there is a fine of $281, and I have a plea of no contest. And on the no driver's license charge, December 19th, there is a fine of $181, and I have a plea of no contest. Are those your pleas today?
Well, she told me to put no contest because she said I don't make enough to qualify for a payment plan whenever I went.
No. Hold on, you misunderstood her. Here's my question, not the money. Did you have a license at the time?
Oh, no, guilty.
Okay, I'm confirming your plea first.
Okay.
You're talking about sentencing, which is after you're either found guilty or not guilty.
Oh.
I need to see if I'm sentencing you. On the driver's license charge, how are you pleading?
Guilty.
Okay. On the insurance charge, how are you pleading?
Guilty.
Okay. Now, nobody told you you have to plead no contest because you don't have money. Nobody told you that. Okay. She told you mark your plea and the judge will review your finances.
Yes, ma'am. But
well, I just want to get really clear because what you're saying to me makes no sense. And it would be someone highly trained just deciding to not do that with you, their training, and to do something they know they're not allowed to say to you. So I want to be really clear. Nobody told you
filled
that.
out these papers twice. She had to print them because at first I put
Yeah,
guilty.
because your case is very messy because it's gone in a lot of directions. And she was trying to confirm, is it this case or one of the other, like, I guess there are, like 7 cases. She was just making sure that it wasn't the no driver's license charge from May 12th or the driving invalid of 2017 or the driving with an invalid license April 17th of 2019 or the no insurance charge from May 12th of 2017 or the stop sign charge from April 17th of 2019 or the failing to yield the right of way turning left onto a private roadway May 12th. Yeah, I mean, it can get a little confusing, but ultimately she wanted you to enter the plea that you wanted to enter so that I could properly review your case, which is what I'm trying to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, are you working anymore at Panel Specialists?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that is here in Temple?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And has that changed since you filled out your form January 10th?
No, I've just had to miss because of COVID.
Of course. And so the other question I have with everything that you described to me, are you living at in your regular place of living, or are you in a domestic violence shelter?
In my own home. I did have to move though.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And for the obvious reason, I think that was the right move.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you move since January 10th?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Or at home. And are you receiving any victims assistance services for those cases? Okay. You might ask the prosecutor over at the district or the county if you think you might be qualified for help for that. Because they have, I don't really connect to those services from this court, but those cases, if they are ongoing, like we were talking about, you can talk to a victim coordinator. Might need to be a little pushy at first.
Yes, ma'am.
Which shouldn't be how it works, but I think it might. So can you pay anything towards your balance today?
Not today. I will be able to make a payment not this Friday, but next Friday. And then I also wanted to see, was there any way I could do like half payment, half community service? I know I was given the option before and I failed you on that, but
it isn't about that. What I can do is reductions.
Okay.
And so I'm going to look at what I can do in terms of reductions. I'm going to do that after we get off the meeting because I'm kind of seeing I may have done some reductions before, but I'll double verify that. And if I did them, I haven't done them on all the cases. So
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
review all your cases. I need a signature and a payment. And I think the best thing to do since you have COVID is not to try to do that today.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm thinking, how bad is it going for you right
now? I think because, and like you told the little girl earlier, don't be a smoker. I'm a smoker or was, I haven't been able to, but it's a lot worse. It's a lot harder for it when
it is. Let me ask, are you paid every other Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You mentioned the 4th, but that's really not even 2 weeks. So why don't we just start on the 18th of February?
Thank you.
And do you think that you could do a payment plan that was every other week, $25?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is you're going to have to be here on the 18th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm going to extend to sign your signature on that date. If you're sick, email us. Call and make sure we received an email, because the clerk, nobody here, and they said we received it, but then you're saying.
Well, the first time I called before court, because I just didn't know how I would feel. And I sent a screenshot in my ID. The first one, I guess maybe I probably misunderstood the email address, but then I called back to see if y'all had gotten it and y'all hadn't. And I reread the email address to her, and it was online, not on my. And so I resent everything. So she should have it.
Okay. We got an email at after 9 when court started, so we just found it. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, when
ma'am.
court starts, I'm not checking the email at that, but you've got the address right. So what I'm going to say to you is I can email everything over to you today. Can you print it and sign it and email it back to us?
I won't be able to print it today because I don't have a printer, and I don't want to go out and expose.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking you for, I didn't ask you, can you drive over? I asked, can you print it? You said no. So we were extending you to the 18th of February. You'll come on in at that point. Now, if you have COVID still, that's understandable. That can happen. Email for an extension. Okay. But we're planning to see you on that day for signature and a $25 payment. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay.